In the last class, we studied about what is data analysis, and I tried to explain data analysis using a fruit story as simple as possible. That was the first class we had, and followed by which I also tried in yesterday's class. I taught you about what does a data analyst do, and what are the core responsibilities of the data analyst, and what are the major tools that on the percentage wise that we will be using as part of our data analysis. So we discussed all those things. And also I gave you and I mentioned about the syllabus for data analysis and what are the things that we will be covering. Everything I have given in the last class. In today's class, as we understood that, in from previous class, that Python is something that, it's a programming language where 70% we will be using in our day-to-day work as a data analyst. So from today's class, I will be teaching you Python. So let me start with Python. So this is day one of Python class under data analysis. Okay, but before starting this class, I want to tell you that you are learning Python with related to data analysis. Okay, so Python is a general purpose programming language. It can be used for various different purposes, but we are sticking on to learn Python very closely, very related to data analysis. So you cannot claim that you have completed Python end to end. Whatever is the major or predominantly vitally used topics in Python with respect to data analysis, only those topics I will be covering. I am not covering all the A to Z of Python. I am covering what are the things that is needed for data analysis. I am only going to teach Python with respect to data analysis so that you will be able to focus and let us be, aligned to what our goal is. Our goal is to be a data analyst. So whatever the topics related in Python that we will be using in data analysis, I will be covering that. Okay, so quickly without any delay, I will be in today's class. I'll be giving you an introduction to Python and how we can execute Python programs in our machine. And then we are going to understand the Python basics in today's class. This is the agenda that we will be looking into. So let me give you what is Python. I'll give you some sample notes and then we can proceed by. So what is Python? For people who are from a non-technical background, I would give you this one, because for people already from a technical background, they know what is Python. For people who are coming from a non-technical background, I wanted to give you the simple one-liner so that you will be able to understand what it is. It is a clear beginner friendly, okay, beginner friendly programming language. A clear beginner friendly programming language, meaning it is very close to English language. If you can read and write English, you can learn what is Python programming, because Python programming is very closer to human language and it is very simple to understand. And the difficult part in Python is that it is easier to learn and it is also very easy to forget. If you don't practice, if you are not working on Python daily, it is very easy to learn and very easy to forget also. So you have to practice it every day. You need to practice or you need to work on it. And then why do you have to learn this one? There are so many programming languages available. Why did all the data analysis started using Python? Why did the data analyst started using Python? Why not, they can use other programming languages? Why analysis, analysts love it? Okay, why analysts love it? So the basic important thing is that, this Python has a lot of powerful libraries like pandas and numpy, as we discussed in the last class. So which will help us to clean data, analyze patterns and build insights fast. For this reason, data analysts love this one, and it is very simple to use. And instead of following too many rules and protocols, you can write it in simple language, and that is why data analysts love it. So I have given you what is Python. It's a clear beginner friendly programming language. And why data analysts love it? It's because it is powerful. It is powerful, and it has powerful libraries like, pandas and numpy. What are these libraries? When we go there to that junction, I will explain you. But remember, Python has some powerful libraries like pandas and numpy, which help us or help you in clean the data, and it will analyze patterns, and build insights fast, and build insights fast. Very soon you will also be appreciating why is Python and its libraries like pandas and numpy is in great demand in the market. Now for people to understand what is Python, I will give you one simple example. Say, suppose you want to know what is this Python all about. I can give you it as, how many of you have used Microsoft Excel? Everybody would have used Microsoft Excel, right? So
Yes, sir.
Python, thank you, Ram. Imagine Python is like a Microsoft Excel where you have some good formulas. You want to add the two columns, or you want to add the values in the particular Excel sheet, or you want to subtract, do a lot of mathematical operations you can do using Excel. The same thing you can do in Python as well. It can be called, or it can be, it can resemble an Excel and with formulas. And there are something called as reusable steps, so that you can run it again and again. So in simple words, it's a Python is a clear beginner friendly programming language. And why does a data analyst love it? It is because it has powerful libraries like pandas and numpy, where it helps us in cleaning data, analyze some data patterns, and build insights fast. Okay, and the next thing is that Python can be compared to an Excel, Microsoft Excel, where it has formulas and also reusable steps. So this is what Python. So if you are able to understand this one, then we can go to the next part. Is everybody clear with this one?
Yes,
Okay,
sir. Now.
thank you. Now the next thing is that I have to give you an environment or a particular place that where you have to write and execute the Python programs. So in the real world, most of the data analysts, they use something called as Google Colab. They use a software by name Google Colab. What is this Google Colab, and what it is, and where is it used? Everything I will be explaining now. Okay. Now you will be writing, or we will all be writing the Python code in a software by name Google Colab. As you very well know that this Google Colab is a software which has been given to us by Google, where we can run Python related or data analyst related or data science related Python jobs. You can run it on Google Colab. So it gives you a platform for all of us to write and run Python programs. So, and it is a free tool. Okay, no need to pay anything. So I will say that what is Google Colab? Google Colab, it's a free browser, okay, browser based notebook, and it is given to us. It is by the company Google to run Python, okay, Python or Python programs. Okay, and the best part here is you don't need to install anything, directly you can work on Python programs. No installation needed. And like how you have Gmail, how you have Google spreadsheet, how you have this Google Docs, which is all been accessible to us in the browser. Likewise, this Google Colab tool is also available to us in the browser itself, and no installation needed. Okay, and why is it perfect for our class? Why it's perfect for our class? Because it works on any laptop. Say for example, if you're working on a high end a decent intermediate project where you have to have a very good configuration of laptop, that time these projects might fail, or if your project is not working as intended, to leverage all these things, it's best to run it in a Google Colab, so that no need of a good configuration laptop. It can work on any laptop. So I will say works on any laptop, works on any laptop, and it saves the code, whatever we are writing, it gets saved on the Google Drive, and it is easy to share like a document, and has a popular libraries, popular libraries already installed. So no need to install anything. It is already there. We just need to connect it and we can use it. Okay, clear? What is Google Colab? It's a free browser-based notebook by Google to run Python or Python programs. No installation required. And this particular, Google Colab gets whatever the program that we write, it gets stores in our Google Drive, and it can be easily accessible for us, not only on laptop, on any other device you can connect. You can start working on your project directly, and it has a lot of popular pre-installed libraries, and it is easy for us to plug and play. Clear? So can we start with the Google Colab? Okay, now you can go to the Google and then type Google Colab. Just type Google Colab notebook. You will have something on the first link, welcome to Colab, and you can click this one. This is the official site from Google Colab. Now once you click on this official site, it gives you a list of options, and it says that what are the things that you can do. I have already had a lot of files. Whatever I wanted to teach you, I have already prepared those notes. So I will give you the first thing. I will say that I have clicked on the new notebook, and once I click on the new notebook, you can find that it is untitled 0. It is not given any, there is no name to it. So I will select it, remove it, and I will give a name to it. So it's called as day one of Python. Day 1 of Python class I'm giving. Day 1 of Python class. And remember, this .ipynb is a extension of this particular file. So how we have .ppt if it is a ppt file, how we have a .pdf if it is a pdf file. Likewise, in Google Colab, this extension for this notebook, we call this as a notebook. For this notebook, the extension is ipynb. Ipynb. Could you see here, start coding or generate with AI? So you can click here and write code, and then click on this button, or you can click on run all. It will run and it will give you the results. Okay, before getting it there, I want you to click. No, you can find this option, or you can find this button called connect. So click on this connect. It is requesting for some resources. So it is trying to, the Google Colab is trying to connect to the Google Colab server, and it says the RAM and disk are available. Now if you can click on this RAM and disk here, you could see that we have Google Colab. Somebody said something. Okay, Google Colab, when you're clicking on this particular part, it gives you 12 GB of RAM, and then the disk space of somewhere around 107 GB of disk space to store your data. So for you, you will not see 100 GB because I have purchased something more. You will be seeing somewhere around 15 or 20 GB if you are on a freeware. But you should see somewhere here the system capacity, the RAM would be somewhere around 12 GB. Okay. If you wanted more, you can go and purchase, and you can, you need to pay some 11 or $13 per month, and you can increase your computing power. Your RAM can be increased, and your disk size also can be increased. But for our project, this is more than enough. Don't need to go for this Collab Pro subscription and all. Clear? So now I'm going to explain what is this Google Colab all about in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So pay clear attention so that you will be able to understand. Okay. Now by default, you will have this one. By default, you will have something called as a cell. whatever you are seeing here, my cursor is blinking. So when you see that the cursor blinking, like how we have Microsoft Excel, where there are cells in that Microsoft Excel, likewise in this Google Colab also, this block which is blinking, we call this as a cell only. Okay, this cell can be has two options. You can have the cell either to use text. If you come here and hover here, you can either convert this cell into a text cell or into a code cell. By default, it is in the code cell, Python code cell. So any Python program you're writing in this code cell gets executed. But any text you're trying to write, you need to click on this text cell and then write your text here. Okay, so for time being, what I will try to do here is I will click here and I want to write the text. So I'll click on the text option here. I will click on the text option and the cell will become, it will turn into a text cell. So if I want to enter anything, if I want to edit something here, I need to double click. I am double clicking. Once I double click, the cursor blinks here. So I'm going to write the first statement here called as welcome. Welcome in the first session. In this first session, we will do the below things. So what are the things that we are doing? It is like a notepad, like how you wanted, you can write it. So whatever you're writing here, you can see the output here. Okay, so in the first class, we will be running your first line of Python. We will be running the first line of Python. And then what is the second thing we will be doing? We will be doing something called as print messages and numbers. We will be printing some messages and numbers. And then the third thing, what we will be doing in this class, we will store values in variables. Values in variables. I will tell you what it is, so don't worry. It is like, you are creating a box. You are creating a box and trying to store some values in it. So that's how variables are. Maybe when I'm coming to the junction, I will explain it more in detail. And then we are also trying to see, check a value type. Check the value type using the function call type. So all these things I will be teaching in this particular class. First thing is that we will be running the first line of Python, print some messages and numbers, and then we will try to store some values in variables, and then check the value type using the type function. Even if you are not understanding on the first part here, do not worry. Maybe when I'm going and explaining in detail in the code wise, I will be explaining it. Now I have written some text here, and after writing this text, I want to go to the next cell. I want to go to the next cell. So what I will do, I will use the shift key. I will use the shift key and then press enter, and then press enter. It will come out of the edit mode and it will give you a neat text like this. I repeat, it is in the edit mode. I want to come out of the edit mode and I want to tell to this Python, to this Google Colab, saying that my editing is completed. So come out of the edit window. So for that, I will type, in order to execute this cell, I will hold the shift button and then hit the enter button. So it will write that as a text and it will display. Okay. Now the next thing is that again the cursor is there. I see an arrow button here, a play button here. That means the cell is expecting to write some Python code. Again, I don't want to write a Python code as of now. I will write the Python code later, but as of now, I want to write some text, meaningful text, so that people who are looking into my notebook will be able to understand what I have written. So I'm converting this into a text. Again, that block came, and now I am writing double quotes. If you want to uh, write it in bold, you can use this double hash and say that run a cell, run a cell and print, run a cell and print. And below that, below that, I want to give this one, run the cell below, run the cell below, change the text and run again. This is simple text I have written. This is something that I have written on my notebook. Okay, this is not the code. So in order to come out of the edit window, or in order to execute this block, again shift and then enter. So it is a meaningful line where I'm trying to say run a cell and print, run the cell below, change the text and run again. So what I will try to do here right now, at now only, I will write the first line of code in Python. So in Python, we have one reserved word. We have one reserved word called as print. This print is a reserved word, or we can say that this is something called as a word which already has a meaning, which already the Python developers have written. So if you want to print anything, you can call this function, or you can use this reserved word called as print. Open and close the bracket, open and close the bracket, meaning you are telling Python to print whatever is there inside this print keyword. So if I give any value in between the double quotes, remember, if you are not giving double quotes, it will fail. You need to give double quotes, or you need to give single quotes, but preferably give double quotes. Preferably give double quotes and then enter whatever the value you want to enter. So I'm giving the code hello. I wanted to print hello and then Python. Hello, I wanted to say hello Python. Okay. After writing this code, when you are trying to again hit on shift and enter, it will execute this code and print only this one, hello Python, because this Google Colab is trying to execute our Python code and give us the output, shift enter, hello Python. It is giving hello Python. Now, if you want to print anything else, again use the same thing. Instead of, writing it again, I would say that hello Python. Instead of saying hello Python, I would say hello students this time. After editing it, again shift enter. Now it will print hello students. I want to change it to hello Karthik, and some explanatory mark. And then I want to run it. Again shift and enter. It will say hello Karthik. Likewise, you can give anything inside that double quotes and use the print with the simple brackets. It will print it on your output console. Clear? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, everybody is
Yep,
able, you are able to understand this part. Is it getting sinking inside, or is it difficult?
I'm getting enough.
Thank you. Others, are you able to understand? Okay. 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 Now let's get into a little further step. So this is the first part. So I will name it as number one. And here in the first part, we are run a cell and print it. So run the cell below, change the text and run again. So you can, if you want to run this block, you can either press the arrow play button here, or you can, if you wanted to run it from your keyboard, place the cursor here, select this cell and hit shift enter. It will execute that cell and you will be able to get the respective output. The second, I want to write some content, some text data. So I will go here and convert the cell into a text. Now, the second thing what I want to teach you here is comments and printing. What is this comments and printing? Say, for example, many a times, when we are writing code, after some time, after a few days, when we come and look into the code, we will not be able to understand what this code is actually trying to do. But for us, if we wanted to write some meaningful information there, say, for example, I am writing some meaningful information there in the part of the code, but I don't want that line to be executed because I need to tell to Python saying that, hey Python, do not execute this line. This line is for my understanding. Only the Python code you can execute it. So you can use this one. So I am trying to say Python ignores, Python ignores anything after this hash symbol, after this hash symbol on a line. What is this? Again, I'm executing it. Python ignores anything after a hash on a line. So this is the code block. Could you see there is a play button? So right now I'm trying to type a comment here. I'm trying to write a comment. So if you want to write a comment in Python, use this hash symbol, and immediately Python will not execute this line because it will understand this is a line which is used for the developers to understand about their code. So the Python will not execute that code. It will skip that code and go to the next line. So I'm writing this is a comment, this is a comment, and Python skips it, and Python skips it. So after that I'm hitting a enter, not a shift enter, only enter, because I want to go to the next line. Right now I'm using same print function and I'm giving double quotes. I am giving here, I will learn data analysis with Python, data analysis with Python. Remember, this line is starting with hash so that Python will not execute this line nor throw an error. It will execute only this line and it will give me an output. So in order to execute it, I can either hit on this play button or I can hit on shift and enter. See, this line it is not taking. It is the line which is for our reference, but Python will take only that print line. It is say I will learn data analysis with Python. This is the output that we are trying to get it. Okay. Okay. Now what I will try to do here is I'm giving a text here, text. Now what I will give here is I will say that, try it. I will give this notebook to you later after this class. You need to go and change the message and run it. So I'm trying to say change the message and run again. When you change the message and run again, you will feel comfortable. Okay. So when I'm sharing this one, you can go and edit this one. Try to run it with shift enter or click on this hit play button. You should see whatever you're writing in between the double quotes. You should be able to see it. Okay. The next part is I'm going to teach you about something called as variables, or in simple words, we call it as boxes for values. Okay, let me give you an example. What are variables? Imagine variables are nothing but it's a placeholder or a container, or it is a bucket where it can hold some value. Okay. So it is a container or a placeholder or a bucket to hold some value. So I will say that, these variables can be created by us and we can assign some value to it. So how do we create a variable? We can create variables with the meaningful names. Say, for example, you want to create a variable and store my name in it. Say, for example, use simple names like name. If you want to assign a name value to it, create a variable name as name. If you want to store the age of a person, create a variable by name age. If you want to store a price of a product, create a variable price. Okay. Now I am hitting shift and enter. These are text box for you. Now let us see, we will be creating a name variable and assigning a value to it. I am creating a name variable here, name, and I'm assigning the value Karthik to it. Carefully listen. Whatever is this equal to sign tells us that that you are assigning this Karthik value to a variable name. So if you go and see or go and try to print the name, you will try to get the value Karthik, which is sitting inside the variable name. So remember, if you are trying to store any string data, any alphabet data, you need to place that into double quotes only. Say, for example, you want to create the variable age and assign the value age to it. So I'm creating the age and I'm assigning the age integer value. This is an integer. This is a whole number. Any whole number in Python, we call it as an integer. Okay. So the 35 value is stored inside the variable age. And then price. I create an other variable by name price, and I say that, the price is 199.99, meaning any decimal value that you are giving. In mathematics, we call this as a whole number. In Python, whole numbers are represented as integers. Just remember it. Don't worry, I will teach you later in the class. In mathematics, any decimal number, we call it as a float in Python. Okay, remember it. Maybe when down the line, when we come there, I will teach you more in detail. Now, what I try to do, only for character, only for string type, I'm storing it into double quotes. Integer value or decimal number, or sorry, whole number or decimal number, I can store it. Numbers can be stored without double quotes. Only for character or string, you need to store it in double quotes. Next, I'm trying to use a print function, and then I want to see what is the value that is present inside name. I want to know what is the value that is present inside age. I want to know what is the value that is present inside price. So every variable inside this print function, I am separating it by comma. If you are not giving comma, this will throw an error, because could you see there is a red mark here and there is a red symbol here, which means your syntax, your Python grammar is not correct. It says that it is expecting age name to be separate and age to be separate and price to be separate. The red symbol is gone. Now, in order to run this one, you can click on this play button or hit shift enter. So the Karthik, it is printing name as it is, age 35 it is printing as it is, and price it is printing as it is. So clear with this part? Okay. Many people, out of curiosity, they will not give the variable names in a meaningful way. In for name, they will not give it as name. They will write, shortcut, they will write N. And for age, they will not write the complete meaningful name. They will write it as A. For price, they will not give it a complete name. They will write it with P. But if you down the lane, if somebody else is trying to read your code and make a insight out of it, they will not be able to understand, because you are not given meaningful names to your variables. Okay, so you need to give meaningful names to your variables. Only then, it is an industry practice. So what are the things, some tips that I can give you here is good naming tips. Okay, good naming tips for variables. First thing, you need to use only lowercase. Did I use any uppercase for my variables? Use lowercase with underscore, with underscores. Say for example, you want to create a variable called a student name. How do you create it? Keep it like this, student underscore name. Okay, you want to create a variable, the total marks of the student. So create it total underscore marks like this. This is the best way that you can give a you can follow this naming standards for variables. And remember this one, this is very important. Names cannot start with a number in Python. Say for example, you wanted to give a variable name as to name. You will get an error saying that variable name cannot start with the number. It can start only with the alphabets only, and that two alphabets should be in lowercase. Clear? And the next important thing, if you want to have a good variable name, remember that you cannot use something called as a Python is case sensitive. Meaning, let me explain it to you. Python is case sensitive. Okay, case sensitive. Meaning, you are creating a variable by name age. You are trying to create a variable name as age. Now it is in capital letter age, and then this age you are trying to do some operations. So this age variable is different and this age variable is different, because Python is a case sensitive. Whatever, if you are giving lowercase, you need to use lowercase only, but don't use uppercase at all. All your variables should be in lowercase only. If you are using this name in all your rest of the programs, you need to use this age only. If you are by chance using a uppercase, make sure that you are using this age, this uppercase age only in the remaining part of your programs. Since Python is case sensitive, this age is treated differently and this age is treated differently inside Python because Python is case sensitive. Clear? Okay. The next part what I will teach you here is little bit of text I will try to give. I am going to teach you something called as basic types and the type I am trying to give you. What is this basic types? How many of you know 10th or high school mathematics? I will give you one simple example here. Here in high school mathematics, we have whole numbers, right? In high school mathematics, we have whole numbers, and this whole numbers in Python, we call it as integer. In short form, we call it as int. Okay. Any whole numbers. If you don't know what's a whole number, very simple. Whole numbers are nothing but, there is no decimal value. Say, for example, 42. 42 is a whole number. So it has no decimal value in it. So this 42 whole number in the high school mathematics, in Python, we call it as an integer. In short form, we call it as int. Okay. The next important thing that you need to understand here is, we have something called as float. What is float? This in our high school, we have something called as, decimal numbers. Decimal numbers will always have a decimal dot in between. So 3.14, this is a decimal number. This 3.14 in my high school mathematics, we call them as decimals. In these decimals in Python, we call it as float. We call it as float. We call it as float. Python will understand. Python will not understand what is a whole number. When you say integer, it will understand. Python will not understand what is a decimal. When you say it is a float, it will understand. Okay. So this integer, float are nothing but data type. You are telling what kind of data that you are storing inside the particular variable. So the next thing is what I'm trying to, the next important topic is str, that is nothing but string. Anything that you are representing in text or character in Python, we can represent the text or character in a string data type. So string data type, anything if you are placing in single quotes or double quotes, Python will consider that as a string data type. Clear? So the next last important data type is something called as Boolean. Boolean, it can be either a true or it can either be false. Let me explain what is this basic types and type. Okay. In English, we have, if you want to learn English, you need to learn alphabets, ABCD. If you want to learn mathematics, you need to learn numbers. Likewise, these alphabets and numbers are the basic fundamental units to learn either English or any language, or if you want to learn mathematics, you need to know numbers. Likewise, the fundamental units of Python, the fundamental blocks of Python are nothing but integer data type. Any whole number in the universe, you can represent it inside integer. Python will understand. Python will not understand a whole number. Python will understand what is an integer. So any whole number inside Python, you can represent it in integer. Any decimal number inside Python, you can represent it as a float data type. Any text that you are having, text data, that text data can be represented in the string format in Python, and any true or false binary values you can represent it in Boolean data type. Okay, going forward, when we are exploring more about this one, you will be able to understand. At now it will be little, it's the first time when you're learning, it will be, not much clear, but slowly when we are working on this one, you will be able to make sense out of it. Now let us take each example for this one so that you understand this one. Okay. Now print, I'm using this print function, and then I want to know, I'm using this keyword called as type. Type is a function, meaning what is a function? Function is a reusable method, or it is a special method where it is giving us some information to us. So this print along with this type function tells us what sort of a data is 42. Okay, I told you 42, any whole number inside Python, it is represented as an integer. Integer, in short, we call it as int. Okay. Now I want to know how is this 42 stored inside Python. So for that, Python developers have given me a function by name type, and print will help me print on the console. So when I type print type of 42, it will say that 42 inside Python is stored as an integer data. Is stored as what? Integer data. The next thing is that print type is again a function where I want to know how is this 3.14 stored. 3.14 is a decimal value. Decimal value in Python is represented as a float. Could you see here? It is stored as a float value. Don't worry about what is this class and the arrows and all. Understand for now, 42 is stored as an integer data type and 3.14 is stored as a float data type. And the next thing is that I want to know how this type, how this string hello stored inside the Python. If I print print type of hello, anything if you are giving inside double quotes, Python will consider that as a string data type. Okay. The next thing is that print type of, I'm trying to give the value true. I'm trying to give the value true. It will say that this true internally in Python, it is getting stored as a Boolean data type. Internally, it is getting stored as a Boolean data type. So these are the data types that you will be using predominantly in your data analysis. So that is why I'm giving you integer is one data type, float is one data type, string is one data type, and bool is a data type. So based on these data types, you can store the data accordingly, and that will be helpful. Okay. The challenge here, what I like to give here is, I'll give you one challenge. The challenge here is write this one. Okay. Create a city, I would say Bangalore. Okay. Bangalore. And say that create another variable by name temperature, and say the temperature is 22.5, and print their types. Okay. Okay. Once you do this one, when you're trying to do this one, if you're not able to do it, reach out, because once you're doing this small assignments, whatever I'm trying to give it as straight, please do it, because you will gain confidence. I will share those notes with you, but try to do it. Okay. Can we do one small example? Whatever we have studied so far, can we do a small example? Okay. Let's say that A is a variable where we are storing the value 10 to it. 10 is a whole number. And B is another value. We are trying to store a value 3 to it. Remember, A is a variable which is holding the value 10. B is another variable which is holding the value 3. Now I want to use this print function and I want to add it. Okay. 10 plus 3, I want to add it. So what I will try to do, I'm using double quotes here and I'm writing add. I'm writing add, and then I'm trying to write A plus B. This, whatever you're writing inside double quotes from in the print function, it will print it as it is, and then it will calculate at the runtime during execution of the program. A value will be fetched and 10 will be placed here, and B value will be fetched and 3 will be and placed here, and 10 plus 3 is 13. So add, you will get it as add colon 13, you will be able to get it. Clear? Now, next thing I will try to do here is, I will try to subtract. Now what I will try to do, A minus B I'm trying to do. So subtract value, I'm trying to get it as 7. So 10 minus 3 is 7. What I will try to do, the next thing is, I will try to multiply. Here in multiplication, I will try to do A star B. A star B is nothing but multiplication. So 10 into 3 is 30. Then what I will try to do here is, I will try to do something called as division. Divide I will do. So divide is nothing but A divided by B. So 10 divided by B is how much? 10 divided by 3 is 3.33335. It is giving you the right answer. Okay. Now let me give you one small task here. The task here is try this one too. Okay, try it. What I wanted you to try here is change A and B, change A and B. Try instead of this one division, try something using called as, try something double division. Okay, I will teach you what it is. That double division, we in technical terms we call it as floor division. Okay, replace this single line with the double forward slash, single divide symbol into double forward slash, and see what's happening. In tomorrow's class we will discuss. And then use this percentage symbol. In percentage symbol, we call that as a modulo operator. If you want to know the remainder of a particular operation, you can use this particular modulus operator. Okay, so try to do this one with the same thing and try to find out what is your answer. If you are not able to solve, no problem. In the next class, I will help you to solve this one. Okay. Okay, now I will give you an important thing. Okay, this line is very important. Text. If at all you faced any mistakes in executing your code, okay, little mistakes you do, reading errors, read errors. Okay, so let me place it like this. If you see an error, read the last line, lead the last line. It will explain the issue. It will explain the issue. Okay, so let me intentionally make a mistake so that you will be able to understand this one. A is equal to 10. Okay, A is equal to 10. Print B. Is B any okay, print D I'll give. Is D anywhere declared? Is any D I have used or assigned any value with the D? I have not at all used D. But if I go and ask Python to give the value of D, will it be able to give it? Certainly not. It will throw an error. So could you see that? If you see an error, read the last line, it will explain the issue. Here the error is name error, name D is not defined. It is throwing and it is telling me clearly, boss, you have not used D anywhere. How can you try to fetch the value from D? That is what the error explanation is all about. Okay, yeah. So this one will be helpful for you so that you will be able to understand and see how to resolve the error. Okay, I have commented it so that it will not show you an error here. The next thing is that I will give you one small task. Okay, this is an assignment. Okay, try to do it. If you are not able to do it, no problem, but make an effort so that this will be helpful. Quick practice. Okay, what is the thing? What is the issue? What is the homework that I'll give you? Here is, it's very simple. Come here. The homework here is first thing, create variables for a small bill. Okay, create variable like a small bill. The variable should be, you have to create a variable by name customer. You have to create a variable by name quantity. You have to create a variable by name rate. Okay. See, you are creating a variable customer, you are creating a variable quantity, you are creating a variable rate. Assign some value to it. Assign some value to it. Later, you need to compute amount. Okay. What is this amount? Amount is also variable that you are trying to create, but that variable value is nothing but quantity into rate you are trying to add. Say for example, you are buying tomatoes. Tomato per kg is 45 rupees. You have bought 2 kg. So 2 into 45 is how much? 2 into 45 is 90. So that amount, whatever the calculation that you're trying to do, it has to be stored in the variable amount. After that one, you need to use this print statement and say print statement and say hi, and then the customer's name should be printed. Customer's name should be printed, and then you need to say your total is, and then you need to print the amount here. You need to print the amount here. Okay, so so in this way you will be able to understand this one. Okay, so this is one practice that you can try to give. So quick revision. What is Python? It's a clear beginner-friendly programming language. Why analysts love it? It has powerful libraries like pandas NumPy, where you can write clean data and analyze pattern and build insights fast. Think Python as an Excel, like an Excel which has a lot of formulas and reusable steps. What is Google Colab? Google Colab is nothing but a free browser-based notebook by Google to run Python and Python programs. No installation needed, and it works on any laptop, saves to Google Drive, easy to share like document, and has popular libraries installed. And this is the day one of our class. In day one of our class, I told you that in this class, you have Google Colab has two cells. One is code cell, another is text cell. If you're writing into code cell, make sure that you are clicking on the code cell and then writing if you're writing on the text cell, make sure that you're applying the text cell and writing the text. And then if you're writing the code, make sure you're selecting the code cell and then typing the code. Print is a function in Python, meaning function has a in simple words, I can say function has some purpose for it. So here, this print function is a purpose to print something on the console or on the screen. So this print function is helping me to print whatever I give inside the double quotes. And comments and printing. What is comments and printing? In comments is something that, any meaningful information that is being written by the developers to another developers, Python will try to ignore it, provided if you write the comment with a hash. Anything that you're writing after hash will be treated as a comment in Python. Okay. The next thing is that what are variables? Variables are placeholders, containers, or a small bucket where you can store or assign a value to it. In this case, the value Karthik is getting stored in name. In this case, the value 35 is getting stored in the variable age, and price, that is the value 199.99, is getting stored in the variable price. And I'm trying to print it, I'm trying to get it. What are the naming tips that you need to follow? Make sure all your variables should start with lowercase, and if you wanted to use underscore, you can use it for a meaningful variable names like student underscore name, total underscore mark. Names cannot start with the numbers, it can start only with alphabets. Python is case sensitive. Capital H and lowercase h will be treated different. What are the basic data types and that we have? We have integer data type, float data type, string data type, and boolean data type. All the whole numbers are stored in the form of an integer. All the decimal values are stored in the form of a float in Python. All the string alphabets, anything placed inside single quotes or double quotes, are stored in string data type. Any true or false, Boolean values are stored in the form of a Boolean in the Python data type. So the respective thing. Type is a function which is returning the what data type internally the Python is storing. This type function will help us to retrieve that data and try to do this. Create a variable by name city and assign a value Bangalore and temperature 22.5 and print their types. Okay. And then we saw how we can do arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. If in tomorrow's class, instead of a double forward single slash, use double forward slash, that is called as floor division, and see what happens. Use a percentage b and see what is the difference, what is happening. And then if at all you make a mistake, try to read the last line and it will explain to fix the issue. In the next class, try to solve this assignment. Okay.